What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host Mike, and today's video is going to be on must add players. Now I'm looking to change it up right now, get the face cam going, trying to put a face to the voice that you hear every day. And we have a couple big announcements to make here on Fantasy Puck. So first, I just want to say I apologize for the lack of uploads. I got sick last week, still kind of dealing with COVID a little bit, and Chris has been working a lot, so he hasn't been able to upload. But guys, we hit our goal. We wanted to get you a video every day for at least 3 weeks leading up to the season. And the season started yesterday, October 7th. And now we're here and we're ready for the regular season. So we're going to be giving you guys a bunch of content. We're looking to start the podcast, which is the big announcement. We're looking to give you the must-add players, waiver wire players, starts and sits, schedules. So we have a lot of things on our agenda for this coming week and for this entire year. So we're excited, guys. And we appreciate all the support. So everyone that joined the Fantasy Puck League, I did shout out over on YouTube. A lot of you guys joined the Discord, and we ended up filling 3 leagues. And we do have some plans for next season with the winners of those leagues. So guys, if you didn't get in this year, don't worry. We're going to get everyone in for the next season as well and include that into our big plans. So guys, we hit 4,000 subscribers. I can't believe we made it this far. 1 year, 11 months. Is when we started this channel, and it was more of a passion project, and now it's something we love to do every day. So I'm super excited for all you guys. Thank you so much for all the support. I can't express any more. And if you want access to all of our premium tools, our projections, the trade analyzer, which is really popular in the in-season, you can just quickly type in 2 players you want to trade for, and our projections come up and tell you the player that wins. So if you want access to all that, or just support us on the channel here, head over to our Patreon and make sure you like the video. That little thumbs up button at the bottom there, make sure you give that a like. It helps us a bunch. It makes us get seen more, and overall just helps everyone in the fantasy hockey community. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. So without further ado, I'm going to jump into my favorite must-add players that are about 30 to 60% rostered in most leagues. So before we jump in this video, before I break down the players, I just want to say that I did lie in the intro and say that I was going to talk about players between 30 and 60%, but I did clue in, and as I was looking through my list of players, I did realize that a lot of them are under the roster percentage that I thought they were at. And I did kind of think about how a lot of you guys are in deeper leagues, 14+ team leagues, and a lot of these players won't be available. So on this slide here, I'm going to hit on players from 20% to 50% owned. And then the next slide will be players 20% and under. There are some deep league guys that I do think are worth adding, especially in those bigger leagues. So to get started, Andrei Kuzmenko of the Vancouver Canucks. There have been very good reports in camp of Kuzmenko. And as most of you probably know by now, Brock Besser is hurt, which means Kuzmenko is now filling in on his spot on Pettersson's wing. So Kuzmenko's got a very good opportunity in the early going. He's going to get top 6 minutes. He's going to be on power play 1. And I was just reading on Twitter. I literally just typed his name in on Twitter, and I didn't realize how high priced this guy was to be signed with the team. I was going through, saw a bunch of tweets from Darren Dreger saying that Vancouver Canucks are extremely happy. They won the sweepstakes. You know, those words mean a lot. So Kuzmenko, he's really highly touted going into this season. He's 26 years old. So he is similar sort of to Panarin when he came into the league with the Hawks. I think there's a lot of upside here. And at 34% owned, he should be rostered in most leagues. So 12-team leagues and more, I would look to add this guy. There's a lot of upside there, especially with that power play 1 in the early going. We do want to monitor his minutes, but his first game with the full Vancouver roster, he played 19+ minutes and power play 1. So I think those are some really important things to take into account here with Kuzmenko. That power play 1 time, we all know that Vancouver power play 1 is very good, and he's getting top 6 minutes. So make sure you add Kuzmenko. Left wing's a very full position, I get it, but definitely worth a speculative add. Secondly, Artturi Lehkonen. You guys know I love Lehkonen. Someone left a comment on one of the videos as a joke saying that I would take Lehkonen first overall. I mean, not true, but pretty close. Love Lehkonen this season. He's still starting off on that first line with Rantanen and McKinnon. We do know that Landeskog is week to week right now with an injury, and Lehkonen's going to be that fill-in on the top line. Not only that, he's also getting power play 1 time on that Colorado power play. I don't have to say much about them. They are one of the best power plays in the league. So many good players on it. Lekkonen's going to get all the opportunity in the world in the early going. He has good hit volume, good shot volume. He's going to play 19 plus minutes on a team that will lead the league in goals this season. So add Lekkonen, dual position eligibility. He will probably be available in 10-team leagues. I would be surprised in 12-team leagues. It really depends on who you're drafting with. Third guy I like here, Matty Beniers. Now, I don't like rookies at all in fantasy, period. But, you know, it's kind of the similar situation to what we saw with Moritz Seider last year, where he didn't really have any competition in Detroit, and he flourished. Same thing with Beniers. It looks like they want him to be that 1C, the power play 1 player. He's going to play 19 plus minutes per night. I mean, he doesn't have that big of a supporting cast, and I get it, but look at Seider last year. Neither did he, and he had a great season. So I am a little bit more on Beniers than I was to begin the season. I think he's in for a pretty good season this year, but there is a little bit of risk with Beniers because we don't have any sample size. He's still young. I mean, the Kraken are going to be defending a lot in their own zone, but there is a lot of upside here because they're just going to let him play. The fourth player, Rickard Rakell, someone I was and I'm still very high on. I love his shot volume. I love his hit volume. He's playing with Sidney Crosby and Rust. He was able to build chemistry last year, and that's kind of my worry with some players. For example, Huberdeau. I mean, I do think he's in for a good season, but he hasn't built chemistry with his teammates. And I think that's a really important human factor that's not considered when looking at numbers. But Rakell, he did have about 20 games last year, 2 games in playoffs, that he was able to build chemistry with those line mates. So he's been playing with them in preseason. They had a 7-1 win last night. He had a couple points, assists on Crosby goals, and I think we're going to see that a lot this year. He's dual position eligible, so you're able to play him in your left wing and right wing slots for those with position-specific leagues. I like Rakell a lot right now. I would be adding him in 12-team leagues, no questions asked. Phil Kessel, I can't believe I'm recommending this guy right now, but I mean, I'm sure a lot of you, those especially who are active on Twitter, have seen Kessel lost a lot of weight in the offseason. He's looking good. And I've read that this Eichel-Kessel duo has been extremely good in camp. They've been lighting it up. And, you know, you kind of saw when Eichel was in Buffalo how good he was and how good he made his teammates. And if Eichel can return to 75%, even 80% form, you know, he'll be a top 25 player, and then his wingers or his line mates will also flourish under that. So I like Kessel a lot this year. He's definitely more of a deeper league guy, 23% owned. I probably wouldn't add him in 12-team leagues right now, but 14-team leagues, he's definitely worth adding. So these are the guys, 20% owned or more, that I would look to add in all of your leagues. Moving on now to the players 20% owned or less. Starting off with my boy, Jake DeBrusk. Left wing, right wing eligible. We know Marchand's hurt right now. He won't be back till at least late November. The Bruins are pretty banged up front, and DeBrusk is that guy right now. He's playing on line 1 with Bergeron and Pavel Zacha. Zacha, too, left with an injury, so we don't know the status of that, but DeBrusk is getting all the opportunity right now. He should be playing 19 plus minutes to start the season. He's confirmed on power play 1, same with Hampus Lindholm. Went to look at Lindholm's ownership, 64% on Yahoo. That surprised me. But DeBrusk still at 20%. He's a great shot volume guy. He's a good guy for goals. So if you're lacking goals in your team, he had 25 last year, a really hot second half. I love DeBrusk. 14-team leagues or more, I would be adding him. 12-team leagues, add him to your watch list. Or if it's really deep rosters, I would be looking to add DeBrusk. Secondly, you guys probably haven't even heard this name once in the offseason, Brandon Montour of the Florida Panthers. It looks like they're going with a 2-defenseman system. Yeah, I get it. I recommended Bennett, not in power play 1. We don't know if that's for sure yet, but Montour's been skating that first power play unit. He's only 12% owned. The power play unit's going to be really strong with Barkov and Kachuk there. Ekblad will also be there, so I don't really know Montour's role. But I know D are very thin this year, and there's not a lot of options later in your drafts, or especially on your waiver wire, that aren't defensemen that just hit or block. So Montour is a great speculative add early on, especially in deep leagues. You know, if he does play on that power play 1, a lot of upside. And I think we all know that Ekblad does have injury history, and this could work in Montour's favor. So I like Montour right now in 14-plus team leagues, and the same thing goes with the next guy, Kalen Addison, another speculative player. He's going to make the team out of camp. He's going to play in the top 4. He's going to play on power play 1, and he's only 10% owned. So this Minnesota Wild power play 1, they've struggled to find defensemen in the past. They were just filled with top 4 two-way defensemen or just straight up defensive defensemen. Brodin, defensive defenseman. Spurgeon, he's more of a two-way. And Dumba, same thing. I would actually say Dumba's two-way or defensive defenseman. Where Addison actually brings more of an offensive touch. And, they have Kaprizov on the top power play unit, who's going to be, everything's going to be running through him. And I think this is a great add in 14-plus team leagues for a guy to get you some solid points and have, pretty big upside. I actually, for those who enjoy sport betting, I took Addison plus 10,000 for Calder this year. You never know. He could get 40, 50 points and break out and no one would see it coming. So, and this leads into another speculative rookie that I'm really high on, Jack Quinn of the Buffalo Sabres. Right wing, again, another scarce position that can be filled later in your drafts or on the waiver wire. He is only 8% owned in leagues. He's playing in the top 6 in Buffalo, and it looks like they're keeping it there. So he skated early on with Tage Thompson and Olofsson, which is where I really liked him. Now he's with Middlestad and Tuck on the second line, which I still think is really good. And he's getting power play 1 time in preseason. He's also leading, or at one point was leading preseason in shots. So he's been firing the puck. I like to see that from a young guy. I think that Quinn has the potential for 25 plus goals this season. He was the AHL top rookie of the season last year. He had a very good season, 60 plus points in just 45 games. Quinn has a ton of upside this season in those deeper leagues, and you're looking to fill that right wing spot. Quinn is your guy. Thank you for watching the must add players video. Now, all feedback is very much welcome in the comment section, so let me know how you like this style of video and if you want it to continue. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next one.